Hi guys, in today's video we're going to look at how do you stay up to date with all the rules and regulations of running a business in South Africa. So starting a business in South Africa is relatively easy, but it does come with a complex web of rules and regulations which you need to navigate. And sometimes it can seem daunting, which is why it is valuable to have an accountant as an advisor. But you do also need to be aware of the basics so that you know for yourself. It is good to have a rough idea of the compliance environment that affects your entity. So firstly, we'll talk about income tax. Now, when you register a business with the Companies and Intellectual Property Commission, you automatically register for income tax with the South African Revenue Authority. However, if you operate as a partnership or sole proprietorship, then you have to register. Income tax returns are due annually within 12 months after the business year end. You should be regularly updated. You should regularly update your business and personal details with SARS to receive correspondence and keep a record of all financial transactions in order to enable you to submit accurate income tax returns. It is a good idea to employ a reliable accountant or outsource your accounting and tax to a reputable accountant, especially because they can also help you with tax planning. Then provisional tax is a tax system that requires individuals and businesses to pay their income tax liabilities in advance, typically in 2 or sometimes 3 installments during the tax year. It is designed to help taxpayers meet their tax obligations gradually rather than facing a significant tax bill at the end of the year. Value-added tax, also known as VAT, if your annual turnover exceeds the threshold of 1 million per annum, your business must register for value-added tax. If there are tax planning advantages, you can voluntarily register if your annual turnover exceeds 50,000 per annum. The standard rate of VAT in South Africa is currently at 15%. VAT is charged on the supply of most goods and services unless specifically exempted or zero rated. And it's important to submit VAT returns on time and to familiarize yourself with the VAT return deadlines because they're not necessarily the same for every business. Businesses with turnover below 30 million submit their tax returns for every 2 months, either as even months or odd months as prescribed by SARS when you register. And then businesses with a turnover above 30 million submit their VAT returns every month. Your accountant will help you correctly calculate the amount payable and remit it within the due dates. Lastly, PAYE is the system by which employers deduct income tax from their employees' salaries and remit it to the tax authorities on a monthly basis. If you have employees, you need to register your business with PAYE. Once your business is registered for PAYE, you must, on a monthly basis, calculate and withhold the correct amount of PAYE from your employees' salaries. You must also complete and submit the monthly return, which is known as the EMP 201, to SARS, indicating the total PAYE deduction from employees and the UIF or Unemployment Insurance Fund contributions. This return is due by the 7th of each month following the month in question. Halfway through the year and at the end of each tax year, you must submit an annual reconciliation, also known as EMP 501, to SARS. This return reconciles the total annual PAYE deductions and contributions. Failure to reconcile may lead to penalties, and out of this process, you issue certificates known as IRP5s or IT3A certificates to your employees. Now, employers are required to provide their employees with these certificates, which outline the total earnings and deductions for the year. These certificates are typically issued before the end of May each year, and they form the basis for their individual tax returns. So everything is important and it has an implication with respect to compliance. Then other compliances, the Department of Labor. Every employer is required to register with the Department of Labor to comply with labor laws and standards as well as regularly reviewing and updating their employment contracts and policies to align with current regulations. In addition, each employer is required to keep detailed records of working hours, leave, and employee contracts. Skills Development Levy. It is a levy imposed on employers to promote skills development within the South African workforce, and employers are required to pay the SDL to the SETAs, which are sectoral training authorities, via the South African Revenue Service to fund various skills development initiatives and training programs. Employers who pay remuneration exceeding 500,000 per annum are required to register for SDL. And SDL is payable as 1% of an employee's total remuneration. Employers are responsible for calculating and deducting SDL, for calculating rather SDL and remitting it to the Revenue Authority. Now, importantly, SDL is not a deduction from employees because the employer pays the amount, and it is remitted together with UIF and PAYE to SARS by the 7th of the month following the month in which the deduction was effected. Unemployment Insurance Fund. This is a government fund that provides financial support to employees who become unemployed or are unable to work due to illness, maternity, or adoption. Employers are obligated to contribute to the UIF on behalf of their employees and ensure compliance with UIF regulations. Employers in South Africa are required to register with the UIF, and there are two UIF registrations that must take place. The first one with the Department of Labor and the other one with SARS. Returns are submitted to both entities on a monthly basis, but the payment is made via SARS. And then lastly, workmen's compensation, also known as COIDA in South Africa, is a critical responsibility for employers to ensure that their employees are covered for the period that they are working at their place of work. So COIDA is a system that provides compensation to workers who are injured or contract diseases in the workplace. Compliance with COIDA is essential to protect both employees and employers. Employers are required to register with the Compensation Commissioner for COIDA, and employers are required to pay an annual assessment fee, which is calculated based on the total earnings of their employees. The assessment fee is used to fund the compensation system, and employers must make these payments annually by a specified date, which is typically in March each year. CIPC annual returns are filings made by companies and close corporations in South Africa, and these returns are provide up-to-date information about the company's operations, structure, and financial status. They help maintain an accurate record of the company's details with the CIPC. The due date for filing annual returns is typically within 30 days, business days rather, of the anniversary of the company's registration date. Beneficial ownership returns require companies to annually provide information about their ultimate beneficial owners and other persons with significant control over the company. The purpose is to enhance transparency and reduce the potential for illegal activities such as money laundering, fraud, and corruption. BBBEE is a critical requirement for businesses operating in South Africa. The framework aims to address historical economic disparities and promote economic transformation in the country by increasing the participation of Black South Africans in the economy. BBBEE compliance is assessed through a scorecard system that measures a company's efforts in promoting Black economic empowerment. The scorecard evaluates a company's compliance in various key areas, including ownership, management control, employment equity, skills development, preferential procurement, enterprise development, and socio-economic development. Companies are rated based on their BBBEE EEE compliance level, which is categorized into various levels from level 1, which is the best or the highest, to level 8, which is the lowest or the least. The level achieved depends on the EEE score. Many government tenders, contracts, and large corporations require suppliers and service providers to meet specific EEE compliance levels as a condition for doing business with them. And compliance can significantly impact a company's ability to win government contracts, tenders, and secure corporate clients and access business opportunities in South Africa. And that, ladies and gentlemen, covers our topic on adhering to the various rules and regulations for registering and running a business in South Africa. If you'd like to access some of our services or clarify questions that may have arisen during the video, you are more than welcome to reach out to us. And these are some of the platforms on which you can reach out to us. Thank you so much for attending this webinar. We look forward to being with you on the next one. Bye for now.